So why have so many families stopped using their dining tables? Is it the clutter? Is it because of smaller homes? Or just the convenience of watching TV, Netflix while eating on the couch? In this episode, I will be uncovering the practical and emotional reasons why the formal dining room is being sidelined and dining tables are being transformed to fit our modern lifestyle. I'll also be sharing useful tips on how to reclaim your dining space and encourage screen-free meals and create rituals that bring everyone back to the table. Thanks for joining me for today's solo podcast. In this episode, I'm going to explore the evolution of the formal dining room. While people aren't having formal dining rooms placed in new homes, there are alternatives that we're seeing, and that's like the kitchen island bench or a breakfast nook, and even outdoor dining spaces are very popular these days and being integrated into new homes. I'm going to explore 5 reasons why the formal dining room is possibly on the way out. So number 1 is that we have smaller open living spaces. The growing population, the demand for apartments has increased, which has resulted in smaller living spaces. So many new home designs focus on like that open floor plan, which has the combination of the kitchen, living, and the dining room. And these layouts actually maximize functionality and space. And even in renovated older homes, this is also what the move is. And this, for instance, in our house is what's happened. It's an older Californian bungalow home, and we have opened up the area. So we have our lounge, dining room, and kitchen, and it's not a very big space, but by combining the 3, it's like one room. It means that the kitchen bench has some stools, so we can use that for casual dining, or we use it at breakfast time and everyone will sort of congregate around it and sit and eat their breakfast on the stools. We also have the dining table, which is right next to it. So you will find that some people might sit on the breakfast bar, some people might sit around the dining room table, and it's also has the TV there in the lounge. I do find that my family will sit at the table to even watch TV because it's so easy and so close. Another reason for the decline in dining room tables and dining rooms is that there's clutter. Clutter often accumulates in communal areas like dining room tables or kitchen island benches. And I'm sure you're nodding, going, yes, that's my home, which can then turn into like a catch-all surface. And this is definitely going to create a barrier because you're not going to have the space to maybe prepare the meals or sit and eat the meal. For a lot of people, clearing that clutter can be really overwhelming. And that's when we'll find that the family will then sit in a more convenient place to eat, like on a couch or on a chair or even back in their bedroom. Number 3 reason for this change in dining rooms and dining room tables is our lifestyle. So our lifestyle is a lot busier than definitely when I was growing up, and families are now eating at different times. So due to like sporting commitments or working hours, so families aren't sharing the same mealtime, and you may even be eating alone. There's also been a shift in work hours, especially post-COVID. This may also mean that working hours are different and therefore you're in the home at different times. That flexibility to meet the schedule within a household rather than sticking to that traditional 9-to-5 routine is definitely affecting our use of a dining room table and having a dining room in the first place. Number 4 reason could be the impact of technology. You know, the rise of smartphones and other screens have made it easier to connect to technology, but it has also led to individuals in the family possibly eating separately. When I was a kid, the TV was in another room and the dining room was separate. We actually had 2, a more casual one and also a really formal one that we only used on special occasions. Having technology available in your hand means that you can be connected at all times, and you could be watching something on your phone and someone else in the family could be watching something completely different with your own headphones. Another thing is also multitasking during meal times, and I'm very much a person who does that at times. This has become a norm, and it also makes that communal dining is just not a priority like it was maybe 20 years ago. And the 5th reason, and this is a real personal one that I wanted to share, is the sensory feeding challenges. This could be due to allergies, food anxiety, it could be a limited diet, or it could be sensory aversions to foods due to the smell of them, the texture, the colour, or even the temperature. Individuals who struggle with food aversions, such as ARFID, which is Avoidant Restrictive Food Intake Disorder. This is an eating disorder that has been classified in the DSM-5, and it's really important to approach food and also eating with understanding and patience, because the goal is for the individual to choose foods that feel safe to eat in a way that works for them. So this may be on their own. It also may be with distractions, because if they're distracted, their nervous system is then regulated and they're able to actually consume the food. If they can hear and the sounds of people eating, this may be affecting their regulation, and therefore they won't be able to then focus on eating their own food. This is when we may need to use distractions such as TV or headphones, or they're eating on their own in another room so that they can't smell the meal that everyone else is having, or they can't see the food that they've got, or they can't hear the actual sound of eating. So with the awareness of these sensory feeding challenges, it has definitely influenced, in particular, my own home and how we are sitting around the dining table and eating. And I'm sure it's also impacting a lot of other families. So even though the traditional dining room on its own may be disappearing, we can, though, reclaim our dining table and really look at that dining experience. A first step we could use is implementing practical tips to declutter that space that you'd like to eat at. It might be resetting that table space. So consider having a catch-all basket to collect the items that don't belong, and that could be easily removed from the table when you're using it. I've spoken about them before, but lost property boxes for collecting items for each person in the home and placing their belongings in them off the actual table. Another one is having a magazine holder. This is great for holding paperwork because it will hold it vertically instead of horizontal clutter on top of each other. And also maybe setting up a roundabout for frequently used items that are then easily accessible, but it also gives it a home for you to place it back, but also find it really easily. And this could help to keep your dining room table organized, but also inviting to be able to eat at. Another idea is to encourage screen-free meals. So this might be a time during the week for maybe one meal where it's screen-free. It could be that everybody has the same TV and you've got that on in the background, but that everyone doesn't have their own devices. This can help strengthen the bond and create a more focused eating experience. And if you need other distraction, it could be music, it could be fidgets. We've also used rubber bands on the legs of chairs, and we've even purchased a wobble chair, and that has made a real difference because that is the distraction to help with the focusing on being at the table. Another idea is to create rituals, develop some sort of traditions that bring the family back to the table. So it may not be around food, but it's using that space. So it could be playing board games or card games before or after dinner, or maybe it's even enjoying a snack that's fun and enticing. So some sort of dessert. It could be like a fondue chocolate set. It could be making popcorn. It could be just a fun dessert that you come together to make and then sit and enjoy at the table. And my final suggestion is to try a clear the table challenge. So for 1 week, commit to keeping the dining room table clutter-free using maybe those catch-all baskets, and challenge your family members to sit down together for at least one screen-free meal over the week. And this will not only encourage a clearer dining room environment, but will also focus on connection and conversation within your family. By embracing these changes, you can transform your dining table into a central hub for family interaction, fostering connections and creating meaningful, maybe mealtime experiences. I hope you find these ideas helpful for reclaiming your dining space, and I'd love to hear from you if you have a dining table for meals, or has it turned into a dumping place for clutter or possibly your laundry? Thanks for listening to Simply Happy Conversations. Thank you for joining me for today's Simply Happy conversation. Have you ever wished for a simpler, more organised approach to handling your laundry? It's time to regain control with our free step-by-step guide designed to streamline your laundry routine and create a laundry space that's organised and functional. Let's transform how you manage those overflowing baskets and pesky little single socks. Head to simplyhappy.com.au to the resources tab to get instant access today. I'd like to acknowledge the Wathaurong people of the Kulin Nation on which this podcast is recorded as the traditional custodians of the land. I pay my respects to their elders, past, present and emerging.